One of the most common things I hear clients say to designers is, "Can you make this pretty?" And every time I hear that, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. Because making things pretty is not the point of design. They're missing the point entirely. The point of design is to engineer an outcome. If we haven't met yet, my name is Melissa. I run a brand design studio by day and a handmade product business by night. I've been working as a brand designer for over 20 years, and if there's one thing I've learned in that time, it's that a lot of clients don't necessarily understand what the real purpose of design is. So in this video, I'm hoping to break that down for you and help you understand the true impact design can have on your business, much greater than just making things look pretty. If I had a nickel for every time somebody asked me to make something look pretty, I would be a very wealthy woman, because making it look pretty is a gross underestimation of the power and the value of design. It seems to be really common for people to equate design and art as being the same thing, but they are not the same thing at all. And it makes sense why. They both involve creativity, they both involve visuals, but design and art are not the same thing. Art is primarily about expressing yourself, whereas design is primarily about solving a problem. Art asks, what statement am I trying to make here? Whereas design asks, what are we trying to achieve here? Design is strategy. There's a famous quote from Steve Jobs that says, "Design is not just how it looks and feels. Design is how it works," which is a pretty powerful quote that underscores the purpose of design. But I've got an even better one for you. I heard this quote by an author named Maria Popova, and she says, "Design is the architecture of thought." Just let that sink in. Design is the architecture of thought. When I heard that, I was like, yes, this is the most concise, clear definition of design that I have ever heard. Because the real purpose of design is to engineer an outcome. Design is essentially organizing information in such a way that it leads people down a specific path. We structure copy, visuals, and experiences so that somebody feels something, somebody understands something, or somebody does something. As a designer, it is our job to first understand the desired outcome, and then second, we work backwards to figure out how to achieve it. Side note, this is why designers tend to ask a lot of questions. If you ever worked with a designer and you just find them asking question after question, this is why. We're trying to understand what you're really trying to do so that we can provide guidance to you to actually achieve that goal. This is also the reason you may get pushback from your designer when you ask for revisions. We're not trying to be difficult. We're trying to achieve the goal. And I think there's sometimes a disconnect where a client might think we're just trying to make this aesthetically look nice and organized, whereas a designer is trying to achieve a goal. So we may have designed something in a specific way to achieve that goal that as a non-designer, you just don't understand. And so that's why we tend to push back sometimes on revision requests, is because we just want it to work as good as possible. And we're afraid that our client may not be understanding the reason we did something in order to achieve their goal. So we're not trying to be difficult. We're just trying to help you. Once you start thinking about design this way, you start seeing it everywhere. Here are some examples of how this works. In a brand design, the desired outcome is to be perceived in a certain way. You're not just choosing colors, fonts, and visuals willy-nilly. You're engineering what a customer should feel and think about you. For more information on this, I do actually have an entire video that I'll link right here, all about branding. Then in a website design, the desired outcome is usually a conversion or a sale. You're not just building a digital brochure, you're guiding somebody through a decision-making process that will hopefully result in an inquiry or a sale. In user experience design, the desired outcome is usually for a user to be able to complete a task. This is one of the most direct ways that we see this play out. A great user experience design will be frictionless and allow people to achieve their goals in the software quickly and easily. In marketing design, the desired outcome is communication and action. Whether it's a postcard or an email or a social graphic, you're trying to help someone quickly and easily understand the information and then take action. This might be for a sale, a promotion, an event, or maybe a change you're trying to communicate. You want them to be able to understand it easily and take action. So when someone asks their designer to make it pretty, they're missing the point, and they're probably limiting the effectiveness of the project. Pretty should be a byproduct of good design, not the goal itself. The real job of design is to solve a problem and trigger an outcome. So next time you're working with your designer, lead with what problem you're trying to solve, what outcome you're trying to achieve, and what action you're trying to ask people to take. Because great design is strategy in action. If you've gotten value out of this video, please tell me in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe for more design, branding, and small business content. And I will see you next week.